Hi guys, my name is Daniel Macharia. I'm a software developer by profession, and I also do game design. I'm also a lecturer here at the Africa Digital Media Institute, where I teach game design and development, as well as web design and web development. So my journey in game development started about 10 years ago in 2014. Previously, I was a banker, and I quit my job to begin my software development journey. I have no formal training in software development. Everything that I know in software development has been self-taught, just following online tutorials, YouTube videos, blogs, and so on and so forth. The reason why I decided to get into gaming is because I've been a lifelong video game player. I love playing FIFA, I love playing the likes of Need for Speed, Super Mario. Just basically, I'm a gamer. So I decided that instead of just playing games, I can make a career out of developing games as well. So my first foray into game development started with the Wana Savannah title. So Wana Savannah is a group of 4 friends that, as the name suggests, are children from the savannah. Mwana is the Swahili name for child. So Wana Savannah, children of the savannah. And it follows this young girl, Amani, with her 3 friends, and the mischief they get into in their little village in the savannah. That title, Wana Savannah, had its own successes. I was able to publish 3 video games to the Play Store, and also have a comic book published, and I also had a partnership with one of the local dailies that was publishing a comic strip of Wana Savannah weekly in their Sunday edition of their paper. After so much effort with Wana Savannah, I realized that I wasn't getting the kind of traction that I wanted in the game development scene. And at the same time, I met some young guys who told me that I ought to think about developing games aimed at a more mature audience. So previously, Wana Savannah is targeted at kids as young as 4, 5 years old, up to 8, 9, 10 years old there. So I met this guy, and he was a teenager. If I remember correctly, he was just about to finish Form 4. And he told me that, yeah, your games are good, but those ones are for kids. Why don't you try and develop something that is for a more mature audience? So I put that at the back of my mind. And as I was thinking about it, came in the idea for Nairobbery, which is my 4th game that I've released in the Play Store. Nairobbery, as an idea, came about in around 2019, thereabouts, when there was all this craze about the gengeton music. There was a huge wave of these young guys from not so well-to-do means, and the music that they were putting out in the market. And I saw that there's a real hunger in the market for content that is by Kenyans or by Nairobians for Kenyans or for Nairobians. So with the success of gengeton, like it just came in a wave and took over the sound waves. Where previously people were complaining about radio stations not playing enough of Kenyan music, now there was an oversupply of Kenyan music on the airwaves. And even in clubs, where previously it was just foreign music, the likes of Nigerian music or South African music, during that period it was more or less strictly just Kenyan music, most of which was gengeton. In the same way was all this Odi dance and so on and so forth. So like in Nairobbery, the main male character is called Odi Flex. Odi coming from the name Ordinary. So yeah, that's how the idea for Nairobbery came in. Like if I can make something that appeals to the young guys in Nairobi city. So of course, Nairobi being where the game is based, that had to fit in the title. And robbery. So just being an action game, like it needed a name that was also resonating with some type of action. So Nairobbery is a combination of the name Nairobi and robbery, of course. But this doesn't mean that Nairobi is an unsafe city. No, not at all. It's just a catchy name that has existed in the zeitgeist for Nairobi for decades. I think The first time I ever heard of that term Nairobbery was in the 90s. There's a local musician who has an album that goes by that title. On YouTube, there's several songs that go by that title. So it's by no means a new title. Nairobbery is something that has been there for the longest time. Nairobbery is targeted at teens and young adults in Nairobi. The male character is called Odiflex. The female character is called Vicky Slay. And these are two young guys who live in Nairobi. And the story of Nairobbery is that there's a big party happening in the city. And these two characters will be attendees of that party. But now, as it usually is the case in Nairobi, whenever there's something big happening, characters on both ends of the law come out in forces. So you have the criminals that want to come and take advantage of the partygoers, and then you also have on the other side the law enforcement who just wants to maintain calm, peace, and order in the streets. In the game, these two characters face now different opponents. So both on the side of the criminals and on the side of the law. So there's criminals who want to get their belongings, get their money, get their smartphones, so on and so forth. And then on the side of the law, which mostly doesn't distinguish between the innocent or the people who are not taking part in any malice versus those who are out to cause damage in the streets. So these two guys, in their quest to attend this party, they get caught up in the middle of all this. And yeah, it's up to you, the player, to fight your way through the streets of Nairobi and make it to the end goal, which is the party. We recently just had the launch of Nairobbery at the Africa Digital Media Institute. To the best of my knowledge, this is the first game in Kenya that has had a launch event, a launch party. So that's a very important achievement, not just for me, but for the institution as a whole. So the launch event was quite successful. The turnout was so encouraging, so amazing. We had people from all over, and people that I didn't even know. I was just expecting that the people who would attend the event were students, of course, from ADMI, and some few friends that I had invited. But I was surprised to learn that so many people, like the post that was inviting people for the launch event, went viral on Twitter, now called X. Which also X also features in the game. So the post went viral within a few hours of tweeting about it. I think it had something like 40 to 50,000 views within just a few hours. So yeah, and that led to a very good turnout for the launch event. Just people that I didn't know who came for the event. Lots of journalists who came for the event, and just people who told me like, wow, this is just something so unique. We've never heard of a game launch here in Nairobi, here in Kenya. So we decided to just come and be part of the event. So it was very, very, very encouraging. So post-launch, the response to the game has been amazing. I've been getting contacted by people from even outside of the country. So far, there's two organizations in Nigeria that have gotten in touch with me, and they're asking me about details for my game because they'd like to feature it and showcase it out there in Nigeria. Also, after the launch, I received somebody from Microsoft here in Nairobi contacted me, and they invited me for a meeting with Xbox officials the following Monday. So Xbox has this event that they call the Xbox Game Pass, and it was happening here in Nairobi on the 16th and 17th. So we launched the game on 13th. Then the event for Xbox was on the 16th and the 17th of July. So I was invited over for a meeting with the Xbox officials. These are guys who traveled all the way from America. The organizers of Xbox Game Pass and also the head of Halo Games. His name is Pierre. They were here in Nairobi, and they invited me for a meeting just to dip their toes in the game development scene here in Nairobi, find out more of what's going on as per game development in Nairobi, and how Microsoft and Xbox can become more involved in the African ecosystem as far as game development is concerned. So that was really encouraging, and it was a very, very productive meeting. Now I can boast that I have the head of Halo at Xbox Game Studios as part of my network, which is not something a lot of developers can say.